Excellent. This is Halgia D&D. To those who decide to watch, we thank you very much for stopping by and enjoying our crazy game of D&D that we're going to nerd out and play for the next 3 hours. So, who are you people?
I usually go first. Hi, I'm Louis, the token Brit, playing Ryan, who is a human fighter.
Hello, Adam here, not British. I am playing Faye Dalton, the half-elf warlock.
I am Jackie. I am playing Micaiah, an ASMR warlock. Also not a Brit.
I guess I'll go next. I am Micah. I am playing Quinn, who is an Eladrin rogue.
And lastly, I'm Kira, and I play a rogue by the name of Hush.
Who is also a Tabaxi. So, in our last piece of this adventure, you all found yourselves, after meeting each other for the first time, some of you coming from different places in the world, to meet in the city of Rylay, a city built upon a desert oasis in the southern country of Persoth. You found yourselves in a meeting room in a flat, which is a building that is 8 shared working spaces for up-and-coming people of different professions. Across the table was a tiefling of ashen skin named Rista, who had gathered you all here for a meeting to share with you that since the star in the sky, Victoria, had gone dark, that she didn't feel that many folks were doing much about it, and she intended to try, and was attempting to enlist your help to help further her goals toward discovering why such an event would be happening. She shared with you that she intended to contact the spirit of a long dead sage from 8 ages ago. She said that in order to do so, she would need 2 special flowers, 2 special items to help aid in her goal here. And then she mentioned to you that her colleague, Dr. Christopher Scotland, had stolen the first flower which she had found and fled to an old abandoned asylum on the other side of town. And that it would greatly help the progress of this goal to bring the flower back to her and also try to keep Dr. Scotland alive. She offered you a nice reward for this in the form of crafting components for magical and arcane use and some gold pieces. You all accepted and set out on your journey toward this asylum. Upon reaching the exterior of the asylum, you noticed that it was being used or lived in some way, though it was long abandoned. You made your entry, avoiding a trapped door through use of Mage Hand, I think? I don't quite remember the specifics of that.
I don't think Mage Hand is
I think I
needed.
just dismantled the trap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you dismantled the trap. Sorry about that.
With my real hands.
As you walked inside, you noticed all the equipment on, the lights on, candles burning, and this first floor completely empty and devoid of people in general. You investigated for a bit and found some disturbing records of different experiments that were going on within this asylum before it had become abandoned, and you discovered the reason why it was abandoned, which was a Betagi creature, Betagi being more sentient humanoid giant-type people that live and work among the people of Rylay and Halgia at large. That a Betagi had gone psycho in the holding area, and that people fled and sought to return to barricade the exit so that the Batagi could not escape. You found a secret trapdoor that led down to the holding cell area. You began to investigate, finding bloody footprints leading away from a corpse of a person carrying essentially a mop stick. This poor janitor smote under the ire of some kind of creature. Looking around the cells, Hush got too close to one and was grabbed by an undead spirit, causing a little bit of damage, and Ryan rushed in and pulled her away before things started to get really ugly. You then followed the bloody footprints around and into a new hallway, which led you into the reassimilation chamber, where Faye, with good intention and trying to be sneaky, opened a door way too loudly and gave away your position. After a little bit of deliberating and listening to the sound of this creature roaring in the next room, you gathered your resolve and entered right into the fight. You fought with Thad the Batagi, who happened to be an undead Batagi, with part of its ribcage exposed and its jaw slightly hanging loose. This creature raged and, tried to beat you up with some spectral arms. Quinn, you teleported behind it and stabbed it with your rapier, causing massive damage, just before it reached back and slammed you with its hammer, knocking you into a wall and unconscious. Hush, you went directly after Dr. Scotland and missed with your attacks, unfortunately, and then were hit with a telekinetic aura that pushed you back, and eventually a spell which knocked you unconscious as well. Sorry, guys. First combat of the campaign. Did not intend that. Eventually, Mickey, you hit the creature with a massive strike from a guiding bolt, which left it with 1 hit point. Its wild magic surge gained some of its hit points back, and then Ryan, you finally delivered the final blow, driving the undead Betagi to its final resting place in death. You then rushed toward Dr. Scotland, grabbed him, and slapped the arcane handcuffs on him as he tried to hit you with a spell. And he was rendered useless, and you took him into custody. Mickey, you finished off the undead spirit in the cage, releasing it from whatever awful prison it had been in. And you, though running into an old school acquaintance on the street, you brought Dr. Scotland back to Rista and the deep chrysanthemum, the flower which you found. As you gathered within her chamber, Dr. Scotland sitting there useless, she explained how she would be handling his situation and invited you to meet with her the next morning. In the meantime, you overheard a bard talking about playing in the tavern that night, the tavern that is attached to this flat, right next door. And though you were kind of listening, Mickey's curious ear for music led you toward the door of the Brass Tracks Tavern to wander inside, lured by the sound of music. And as you all walked inside, you gathered to watch the bard play a song. as she plucked the harp and recited the lyrics to this particular song, for which you haven't heard music like this before. It sounds not super familiar to any of you. You find yourselves in the Brass Tracks Tavern. In this tavern, as you enter, the stage is to the right past a long wall. There is a harp and the bard sitting on stage playing it with some kind of harpsichord or piano contraption to the other side. There are lit candles on all of the tables. Some of the candles are kind of placed within these green glass bottles with the wax kind of dripping over them. There are several tables of patrons that are kind of sitting, listening, and enjoying the performance. There is one row of tables that kind of sits right in front of the stage with several chairs that face toward the stage with, again, a glass bottle with a burning candle and candle wax dripping down. You notice toward the back, to the right, there are two what looks to be old rail cabs, similar to the ones that that make up the cab system that carries people around Raleigh, and a set of tracks between them. There's a bar that corners off the far left side of this. There is a fair-skinned human man with black hair kind of parted down the middle and kind of waving professionally as he wears a vest and a white undershirt, vest of brown and a fine brown belt, holding up his trousers. There are plush red stools that sit near the bar area, and you see behind the bar there are many, many, many bottles, as there are patrons drinking many bottles of different types of ale and otherwise. And there is a large statue of a brass dragon that kind of like wraps its wing around part of one of the shelves, and its head kind of leaning out and looking from the back left corner, kind of looking with its vision just straight over the bar itself. So as the bard completes her song, she pauses for but a moment before beginning to absently stroke the harp with another beautiful melody. And here in the Brass Tracks Tavern, what would you like to do?
I think I'd like to get a drink. And I will check if anyone else wants a drink too.
Oh yeah, I'm going right up to the bar to get myself a drink.
Oh, anyone else? What would you guys like? I'm a big fan of the ale here, it's fairly good.
Cider for me, please, thank you.
No problem, got you, Mickey.
I think I'll take something sweet, if they have something like that.
Something sweet. Will do my best. Quinn?
Whatever you'd recommend. You're the local.
Pressure, okay. I'll go up with Faye. Order 2 ales, a cider, and 2 ciders. I think Hush will like the cider, it's quite sweet.
Alrighty, so you guys are approaching the bar, and the rest of you, what are you doing?
Should we get a table while they're getting the drinks?
Yeah, I think a table would be good. I'll look around for one. Stand on my tiptoes.
Okay. You stand on your tiptoes and look around for a table. And Hush, any desired plans?
She's gonna be sitting, or not sitting, but roaming by the window, really just looking at all the decor, all the strange things that just happen to be out on display.
Okay.
Looking at the people, mostly just being observant.
Okay. Mickey, Hush, and Quinn, please roll investigation checks.
Is that an 8? Or a 3? That is an 8.
16.
21.
16.
19?
19. Good rolls, you guys. So Mickey and Quinn, kind of spreading out and looking around, you do find an empty table, and specifically the seats near the... there is one empty table among the rest, which all have patrons at them. And there are a few empty seats up by the row of tables that faces the stage. Quinn, as you pass by one of the tables, you can hear among the clapping as the bard finishes yet another song. You can hear among the clapping a bit of quiet heckling, like a few dwarves and men that are kind of joking with each other about the type of music being foreign and terrible and has no place here, and other sassy things that they'd like to say about this bard. And Mickey, you do find a completely empty table that's kind of away from things.
I'm just gonna
At least
spread my stuff out all over it. Put my drawing pad here, put some other stuff here, put my bag over there.
All right, you yard sale your equipment all over the table in front of you, and you just reserve your spot.
Quinn's gonna sit down. She's gonna kind of like give a look over to the ones that were kind of heckling a bit and just shoot them a look, and then she's gonna sort of zone out a bit looking at the bard just for a little while, just kind of sitting like chin in her hand, just sort of lost in thought for a little bit.
All right. So you two sit across from each other, and Quinn is just quiet, and your stuff is all over the table. Hush. As you're kind of walking around looking at the different decor around here, you do see, like, you notice the statue of the brass dragon and the two old cab carriages that are kind of on display in this place. You do also notice some brass sculptures that are kind of stood on end tables in the corners of this place with just some basic like cacti foliage that just looks to be decoration. It looks to be like depictions of working people with like these tools in their hands, kind of like over a desk. Like these statues are very intricate, and it looks like people working on different inventions. You notice some paintings that have been made of different things that you've already actually kind of seen modernly around R'lyeh, like the cabs and the stadium. And it looks like this place, as you kind of start drawing strings between the collections that you find here, it looks like this place celebrates the history of the city fairly deeply.
So she's going to take in the scenery and look down at herself and how dingy her clothes are, and realize that she feels very out of place and underdressed. Given that the most historical indulgences she's ever been near is probably a trash can. But she's gonna go back over to the table that was reserved and see that Miki has pretty much put all of her belongings out on the table. And she's going to quietly lean over to her and say, "You sure that's a good idea?"
Yeah, it's just to make sure nobody else comes here. Here, let me move some stuff over for you.
It's just a habit of mine. You don't typically want to put your things out on full display like that. I get the purpose, it makes sense, but yeah,
I
I
mean,
imagine that you value your things.
the most important stuff, it's not material. If I lose any of this, it's not the end of the world. I'll just, save up and buy more stuff. It's just stuff.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. But it just seems to me that you're very, very, very concerningly comfortable around most spaces.
Thank you, I think.
I think that checks out, actually. I don't mean that to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to be observant and ensuring that nothing goes poorly when they don't need to be. I'm about prevention, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate that. You're a good friend. I know we just met and all, but I'm glad you're my friend. We are friends, right?
Thank you. We certainly can be. I think we're still kind of working on it, given that we're all pretty new. But you are not an enemy, at the very least.
Aw, thank you. You're not an enemy either. The best not enemy I've ever had.
You're really charming, huh?
I mean, I try. It just, whatever pops into my head.
It's a nice, refreshing thing.
So where are
Keep
you two
doing that.
from? You're not from Riley.
No, not from Riley. I come all the way over from Windermere.
Do I know where that is?
Roll an intelligence check, please.
Natural 20.
Natural 20?
Whoa, she knows
Wasted
everything.
Magdalena has warned you about never going there.
Oh.
It is a city in Narrow Shadow that is essentially an endless power struggle of different groups or clans that try to overtake certain parts of the city. It is a city that is in constant conflict and war. There are brilliant minds that come from there, but it is a very, very dangerous place.
You're from Windermere. Oh, I've heard about that place. How are you alive?
I have so many stories to answer that question, but the shortest answer that I can give you is just by knowing your enemy, never letting secrets go, and always showing your teeth.
Like this?
Make a performance check.
Wait, me? Oh,
No.
Performance is 19.
18. It's still charming, but you do bare your teeth and kind of make it seem feral in a way.
To you, I mean that in a friendly way. To others, might not go as friendly, but that's more their problem than it is mine.
Yeah, that's true. I'll have to remember that if I ever end up going to Windermere someday.
You're better off probably not doing that. There's plenty of places to see. It seems like you already have your hands full with being in Rylay. There's so much stuff here.
Kind of gets boring
And
after a while,
all of
honestly.
it- right, but it's in display all the time. That level of, that false sense of security is just really alien to me.
You see things once, you see them 1,000 times at this point.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I don't know about you, but I am definitely feeling a little bit peckish. And our friend, his name was Ryan, right?
Yeah, Ryan!
I wonder where he is with those drinks.
Yeah, I'm thirsty too. I'm gonna look over, see if I can find him.
And currently you see Ryan and Faye talking to the bartender, which we'll rewind a little bit. As you two approach the bar, you can see that there are several patrons at the stools, and one kind of like slides by you and cuts you off in a way. Looks to be a very hurried and busy man wearing some kind of like a bowler hat. As he passes, you can see the side of a big handlebar mustache, which comes down over his jowls. Wearing a long black coat, and as he approaches, he kind of doesn't sit but leans over the bar, and you see the bartender, who kind of gives like a short smirk. And Ryan, you do notice that the bartender kind of side eyes him a little bit. With your passive perception, it looks like a side eye, but you can roll or your passive insight, and you can roll an insight check if you'd like to.
I'll do that. It's no better.
Okay.
It's only a 14.
At least with a 15, you would gather that the side eye is uncomfortable and maybe a little bit not favorable.
Right.
So you hear, as you are walking to the bar, the bartender, Mr. Dugan, usual, and you hear the patron speak back. You already know what I would like, dear boy. Please do it quickly. And he throws 2 gold pieces on the counter. He comes back with this rocks glass with some kind of this dark brown liquid that kind of swirls around inside it. And then the patron takes it, doesn't thank him or anything, and just walks off and goes and sits at one of the tables facing the stage.
Is it near the table that Mickey's at?
No, not really. It's a few tables down, but he kind of sits quietly by himself.
Okay.
And you approach, and the two of you are greeted by a warm smile from this bartender as he looks up and says, "Good evening.
Evening.
Name's Mr. Reardon."
Reardon? I'm Ryan. Nice to meet you, man.
Hold on my hand. Faye Greer. Or Faye Dalton. Nice to meet you.
Kind of slides a rag over his hand a couple times and reaches out and shakes your hand. Welcome to the Brass Tracks Tavern. Is there something I can indulge you in? We've got some fine ale here. You look familiar, by the way.
Me? I'm from Riley, so you might have seen me around. I work at a smithery just in the other quarter, so it's plausible we've crossed paths.
Krunda.
Yes.
You're the apprentice.
That is correct.
Well, I hope you're not too discouraged at this point. But if you are, I have plenty of stuff that can help with that.
Her praise is getting more effusive every day. But I have a few friends here, so there's a couple of a few good ciders and a couple of ales. And Faye, what would you like?
She'll kind of pause and thought for a moment and go, I'll take, in your opinion, the worst ale you got.
Please don't make the 2 ales I ordered the same one. Make it at least a good ale.
Okay. The worst ale I got?
You can always tell a lot by about the bartender in the bar by what they think the worst ale is.
You say that out loud?
Oh yeah.
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
Roll persuasion. That'll be let's see here. Yeah, 14.
14?
Yeah.
He kind of stares back at you for a moment. You're not from around here, are you?
What gave it away?
No, you can always tell a lot by where a person's from. by what kind of drink they order.
So where do you think
Only
I'm
kidding. Ah. Well, let's roll an insight check. Oh, you look like you've got water stains on your clothes. Somewhere in the islands to the north.
Hey.
Not very privy to the information on which island is which, but I'm sure it's a nice place.
It has its moments.
So, let me get you those drinks.
Thank you.
And he kind of turns around and gathers a few bottles. Gathers a couple of them that are this like more like pale, slightly pinkish liquid. You would recognize the ciders that are served here, and kind of sets them all in front of you. Need help carrying them over?
I think between the two of us, we should have it sorted. Worst case, I'll come back for the others.
Fantastic. 1 gold piece for the 5.
Yep, I'll get this one. Don't worry.
Oh, next
Sorry.
one's on me then.
Flick him.
4 gold and not 1 gold piece. 9 silver. That ale that you ordered, it's 1 silver, not 2.
Problem. I'll flick him a gold anyway.
Oh, yeah, much appreciated.
Not a
Come back
problem.
if you need more.
Of course. I'm sure we will. And I'll try and take the cider for Mickey and the 2 ales, and I'll give the other cider for Hush. Faye can take her drink.
All right. So you all sit at the table together.
I'd
Quinn is
like
very
to, if
quiet
possible.
and- Sorry, go ahead.
I'd like to sit facing what's his name? Mr. Dugan. Just gotta keep an eye on him.
All right. Make a general perception check for just while you're watching him continually throughout while you're sitting.
21.
Okay, we'll get to that. You sit at the table. Hush and Faye are having a very lively conversation, and Quinn is just staring. And Quinn, what are you actually staring at?
She's watching the bard. She's sort of sort of in that direction. She's kind of just spacing out a bit, facing that direction. But
All right. You sit there and watch the bard continue to play. It's been about 5 to 10 minutes and she hasn't stopped yet, and all of her strokes are perfect. She's really, really, really strong harp player. And you see the man in the bowler hat just sit down and just kind of tap his fingers on the table and just watch just as you do. Although you wouldn't know the interaction that happened at the bar.
Mhm.
So you're all together at a table.
Yep.
Is Mickey, you painting again?
No. I mean, not this very moment. Here, sorry, let me move my stuff out of the way. Here,
It's
I'll
fine.
pack everything up. That bard is so good, isn't she? Like, that harp is amazing.
You still need to work on your facial features. Why don't you try painting her?
Yeah, maybe later. Drink first.
I think it's your favorite. Cider.
Cider for me, thank you.
Quinn, I got you, I've got an ale. It's pretty good. I'm sure you'll like it.
yeah, I'll give it a try. What do I owe you for it?
Nah, don't worry about it. It's the most money I've been paid
I'll
in a
get you next
while.
time, then.
I mean, apparently he is the only one of us with a steady job, so...
Hey! Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean, technically, we're on a job right now.
That is true. and Faye's going to down the whole thing in one go.
Are you alright there, Faye?
I'll let you know in a couple of minutes.
Oh no.
I'm not pulling back your hair, don't worry.
As you
The
down
toilets are over that way.
as you down the ale that you specifically wanted a shitty ale, you notice that it tastes kind of dull. It's very heavily carbonated, and as you chug the whole thing down, you kind of cough and then continue to chug, but some of it goes down into your lungs. But for you, that doesn't bother you. As it does, as the liquid fills your lungs just a little bit, you get this warm energy that kind of creeps up into your neck, and the finish of the flavor is kind of musty. To anyone else, it would be a pretty gross beer.
Wonderful.
It was half the price of the beers, though.
Oh. You know, are there like, serving staff around, or is it go to the bar and get another one?
There's serving staff that come by every now and then.
Okay, I'll order another one when it comes
Sure.
by.
A halfling waiter comes over, looks like a young kid. Hey, do you need another one?
I do need another one. Tell the bartender same as last time. Ooh.
This one? Right, sure. And kind of like, anyone else? Anyone else?
I mean, I've only just started, so I think I'm okay for the moment.
Yeah, I think
Right,
we're
I'll be back.
alright for a bit.
And shuffles off.
Long
you
day
were-
for
Ryan.
you, Faye.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What was that?
Long day for you. You
Well,
seem awfully eager to get into your cups.
I mean, you can't blame me for enjoying a good ale.
Insight check. Was the ale actually good? 11.
Alright. Roll persuasion or deception, whichever
Oh
is true.
boy. We'll go deception. That is 17.
Yep, the ale was good.
Ale was good.
The ale was good.
Although it was stated in the form of a question, it was still good.
It was still good. Good in the sense that Faye enjoyed drinking it.
Hmm.
I'm surprised you're not Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, what are you surprised about?
Sorry, what was that?
You said that you weren't surprised. But I'm afraid I did cut you off so you could finish your sentence.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you're not drinking a little bit more, Quinn, after what happened in there.
Well, wouldn't exactly be the first time. I prefer to sip mine rather than drink it all down at once.
To each their own.
You've been knocked down before? Like that?
I mean, hasn't everyone at some point?
No, not really.
No,
Not every
no.
day that you were slammed by an enormous hammer.
From a
Forgetting
raging
that most of you are
undead person.
practically children. I've been around for a very long time. I've been knocked down a few times in my day.
Still feel like that's
Fascinating.
something you shouldn't get used to.
Was this the worst one, though, that you've encountered?
Not quite.
No. Well, what was the worst?
Story time.
You know, I think maybe we don't know each other quite well enough for this.
I mean, there's only one way that we can fix that.
Let's just say I've seen plenty of fights in my time, and there's no such thing as a clean one or a pretty one.
I'd agree with that. Been a part of a few too many in my life.
You too, Ryan?
Well, apparently I look weird, so it's easy for me to be picked on.
Oh, yeah. Well, you handled yourself just fine today, so I'd be remiss if anyone decides to pick on you ever again.
Well,
You can stand up for yourself just fine now.
that's why I started working on my strength. It's a bit harder to pick a fight on someone who's clearly stronger than you.
Right.
Oh,
That's
no,
why they
I
all
would
run away from
disagree.
me. I protect Ryan around here. That's my
That's
job.
totally correct.
What about you, Faye? Have you ever encountered any crazy battles yourself?
Battles? No, but things can get a little hairy when you're fishing. The fish in the aisles. Not so much fights, so much as when you're pulling up, sometimes something else is pulling you down.
Where are you from exactly?
I'm from RN.
And was there anything in Aran that's big enough to pull you down too?
I mean, every once in a while you'll get an inquisitive something lurking beneath the waves. Doesn't like you pulling up as much fish as you are, but nothing a couple stout spear stabs over the side of the boat can't fix.
So cool.
No. So not really a fight so much as a get up, get off.
Do you fish for sport, for food, for money?
For food mostly, and what we have left over we would sell.
I can respect that. That's hard work. Miki, and yourself? Do you often go into battle, or do you just spend your time wrestling with your sketches?
Mostly the latter. Fighting's not really my thing.
Despite
You handled yourself
despite
pretty
her
well
being
down
my
there
protector. No, I've never seen her do that stuff before.
We'll talk about that maybe not here.
That's reasonable.
Just kind of
You
shiftily look
were
around.
bold last time we talked about something like this.
Yeah, it's just not the best place out here.
Understandable.
I'm happy to talk about it any other time. Just
Just not here.
not here. No.
Oh! Actually had a question. Miki, Miki and Ryan, you should both know this, right? There's a store that we passed by. I think it was called Tavern's Teacup. Do you think that might be open still?
Tenevant's Teacup was described to you, and it is just a couple of doors down, and it is a artificer's tower. It's not so much a store, unless you want Hush to believe that it is, but it's a working tower.
It's not a store. It's a big tower full of artificers.
It belongs to one artificer.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, but I've never been inside.
Okay. Alright, I'll keep that in mind then. She's going to take a shy sip of her cider. Unsure what it's going to taste like.
It tastes like sweet and somewhat tart fruit. And it's carbonated.
Oh, she likes this.
It
Her
does
ears
remind
will
you
actually
a
quicker.
bit of. It does remind you a little bit of your favored food.
It tastes
Yeah.
almost like tarberries,
You
But
like it
it's-
then?
but it bites back. This is a strange drink. It does this thing where it kind of sizzles. It's like a flame, but it's not hot.
It's really nice,
it's
right?
alcohol for you.
This is odd. I think I like it though.
Okay.
He's
I
going to
picked
sip
12.
some more.
Ryan, as you are keeping an eye on Mr. Dugan, you notice that at one point he shifts his right arm to kind of reach back and just kind of itches part of his back. When he does, he draws part of the coat backwards, and you see some kind of slightly curved metal object that's only partially visible above the belt line of his trousers. The rest of the object is submerged, is like inside his clothes. And then he shifts back.
It's does it look like it's a blade of some sort?
No.
Okay.
It's a very strange sight.
Okay, I'll just keep watching him. I want to see if I can see any more of it, if I can get any more of an idea of what it is. Just, I know it's from afar, but just not trying to draw attention to myself.
Can Hush tell that there's this inquisitive look on Ryan's face?
Roll an insight check.
I mean, I'm not very good at hiding emotion. Well, actually, let's see. Yes, you can very easily tell that there is a look on Ryan's face.
Did you roll lower than a 9?
Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Okay. She won't
Probably
say anything
-1.
about it. She won't say anything, but she will follow the direction of his gaze to see what he's looking at.
Okay, both of you may roll perception.
10. Sorry, 11.
Ugh. A 6.
All right. He sits pretty still for the rest of his stay, and then eventually he kind of pulls the duster or the long coat up, stands up and pushes the seat back, pushes it back in like a gentleman, tips his hat to the bartender, and who side-eyes him again and kind of nods. And then Mr. Dugan casually walks out the door, or walks towards the door.
I'm not going to do anything.
If we're sitting, are we sitting near a window?
Yes.
Could she actually?
You in particular have a good view of the window.
Okay. Could she perhaps take a peek at the window to see which direction Duger is going?
Sure. Roll for perception again.
The whole time Mickey's just happily like chatting away and chattering about everything and nothing.
A 3.
3.
He melts into the darkness unseen.
So as he leaves, you see him kind of walk straight for about 20 feet, and then one of the cabs, like 2 of the cabs, follow in continuum with each other, and as they pass by, he is out of sight. That famous, the train made the person disappear.
Yep.
She's going to kind of like stare at the window, finding that a little bit odd, but she's going to slowly pick up her drink and sip suspiciously and stare at the window for answers that she won't get.
Okay.
Faye's on her 3rd ale.
Oh my god.
All right. You do see a few minutes down the way, you see somebody get into one of the carts, one of the cabs, and a couple of other people gather around, and they're holding their drinks and cheering. And the bartender says, "You know the game? You know the prize? See what you got?" And the person waves their hands around and tries to draw this arcane symbol. And it starts to come to light, and you see the symbols forming in the air and these strange green and purple lights, and then it fades away. "Afraid not this time. Better luck next time."
Oh, a game. Do I recognize this game?
Roll a history check.
9.
9. No, seems weird.
Ryan, look! Look what they're doing with magic.
Oh, it's like what the cab drivers do. I mean, you're the one who can do magic, so if you want to give it a go. These hands are not that good for that sort of thing, so...
I might do. I don't know much about the game though, so I think I'm gonna wait and see one more time what it's about before I do anything.
Probably a good idea.
A couple minutes later, another person tries and fails. You get the sense that they know what this game in it is and have tried it before, but it's kind of a when you want to try to do it, to try to play the game, you're welcome to in this place.
Do the symbols look like the ones drawn by the cab drivers?
Make an intelligence check.
20, not natural.
What they're trying to do looks really similar to what the cab drivers do as they trace the arcane sigils in the air.
Okay. So I have still my drawing of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try and memorize that. And I'll say, hey Mickey, I think I know what they're doing.
Oh,
I think it is the cab driver thing. Because watch, and I'll see if there's someone else going up to watch. So going up to try it. I'll say like, look, see if they do. See these? I drew. Remember the thing I drew?
Mm-hmm.
If you look close, trying to draw in the air.
And as you look at the drawing that Ryan has and what they're doing, as now the crowd is beginning to gather around this area, and the bartender is kind of like shouting like good luck and keeps telling people like, you know the rules, and recognizes a person that hasn't tried it before and explains the rules to be this is the old Riley cab game, and essentially people have to try to make the old cabs move at least 5 feet, and if they do, they're able to win a bottle of Desert Roll or a bottle of Mesa Bourbon of their choice.
Mm. I'd like to give it a try at least. I don't think I'll be very good, but it's worth a go.
I mean, the only way you know is if you try, right?
Yeah, if it's these symbols, I've seen them done so many times, I should be able to replicate it.
Yeah, go for it. See if you can win us an extra drink.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Faye's gonna watch intently as he does this. Free alcohol is free alcohol.
Alright, I'll, with my very non-magical self, we'll give it a try.
Alright, so you approach and he says, Smith's Apprentice. You haven't tried this before, have you?
I have not, no.
Alright, these are 2 of the original Ryland cabs. If you can make one of them move 5 feet, you get a bottle of Mesa Bourbon or a bottle of Desert Roll. Your choice. You know what you're doing.
I've seen people move the cabs. I think it should be.
Alright,
I'll give it a try at least.
Ryan a round of applause. And everyone starts clapping and cheering, holding their drinks up. The halfling kind of skitters past you, Faye, and hands you another bottle, like as you're kind of not even looking, just puts one in your hand, and you just keep drinking. And as you're gathered around, you get inside the cab, and with this different perspective, it's like kind of strange, like being in this position. You see all the people looking on, waiting for you to give this a try. You are going to need to roll an Arcana check, and you may have advantage on it because you have your reference page that you traced from the outside.
Okay. A 16.
16. Okay. So you start to trace the symbols in the air, and then looking down at the dash, like as you're tracing these symbols, you notice that there is kind of like this complex script that's in front of you. And as you like think about what you drew, you realize that there's a few of the letters that kind of match up, but a few that don't. You quickly correct to an old style of script rather than this new one, and you make that connection and change what you were originally going to draw into something else. And as you do, the symbols light up in purple and green, and they start to turn and shift, and very slowly, like a slow moving rail car, you see the wheels turning, and everyone cheers. The bartender kind of looks curiously at you as people are cheering throughout the tavern, and you did move the cab 5 feet.
Ooh, that was surprising. Can I bring out my notebook and take a note of the older script as well? Like as a
Sure.
reference?
Alright, make an intelligence check.
16.
16?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like you get the older script, like you kind of write it down under the actual like arcane like sigils, like the circles that contain the script themselves. Underneath you make a note that old cabs need to be moved by this.
Mhm.
You are playing this adventure perfectly to become a cab driver in the future.
Excellent. I do need a job, after all.
You already have a job.
I need more jobs.
So the bartender grabs 2 bottles off the shelf and kind of like walks over and sets each of them on the bar and kind of waits there.
Which ones do we want, guys? Bourbon or the desert roll?
Before you choose, just know these are enchanted liquors. You might want to know what you're getting yourself into first. The desert is very hot. If you find yourself traveling, I might stick with the desert roll. It can protect you from the heat in small servings. Don't overindulge.
Of course.
It will cause your heart rate to slow at an alarming pace. If you feel that someone is going to poison you, you live some kind of crazy lifestyle, the Mesa bourbon is a good anecdote for poison. But also, don't overindulge, because it can turn on itself and poison you.
Think the desert roll seems a bit fitting. Sounds a bit more useful.
He passes over a bottle of impossibly clear liquid, stoppered with a black cork in the top.
Thank you very much. The man with the bowler hat. He was in here earlier.
You're talking about Mr. Dugan?
I am. I believe that was what I called up his name. He seems a little weird. There was some... I don't know to say the word is animosity between the two of you. Is there anything? Is he a weird man? Is he normal? I don't know. I haven't seen him around.
Why don't you find me at the bar where there's not so many patrons here? Just a quiet moment when I'm not constantly serving people.
Okay. Sounds good. And
I'm going to talk to you about some other stuff too. You seem to know a lot about the city's operations. You love the city?
just an observant man. Travelled around a little here. I've seen a lot of things in this city. I note some of them down.
Kind of smiles and nods. Slaps the table. Congratulations, Ryan, for winning the Old Relay Cab game. Good luck. Talk to
Thank
me
you.
later.
Of course. I'll go back to the group.
All right. Quinn, by the way, as you hear that description of Mesa Bourbon, you kind of start to understand that random strange bottle of liquor that you have that you purchased in Develnia does do something a little bit magical.
Now I know what it does.
All right, you go back to the group, and what would you guys like to do?
Ryan, that was so good!
Quinn's-
Surprised even myself. Especially myself. I didn't realize just being in there would allow you to draw that stuff. That was weird.
Weird, was it?
I mean, I don't do that sort of stuff normally.
You also said
Okay.
that about the disappearing and reappearing. It seems like you do have at least a touch of magic about you.
Well, some things can't be explained, I guess.
Keep trying bold things like that, you'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think we should drink the alcohol. I know it's a free alcohol, but Rista mentioned I feel we'll be going into the desert soon. This will be good to have there.
Should be saved for a special occasion.
I think so. I think now is not the time.
The halfling walks by and hands you another ale, Faye, and just kind of like puts it in front of you.
Could I get another ale? Not that one, the one I had before, and I'll hand the bottle to her.
Surely, good choice. And leaves and comes back a few moments later with another bottle. And as the halfling returns, actually takes a long gaze at you, Hush. Do you want another cider?
I'm all set with mine, thanks.
Takes another pause, kind of looks you up and down, and begins to walk away.
I think I might go try one of those ciders, but I don't want to bother the halfling. I'll just go get it myself. Faye, did you want to come with me to grab another drink?
Sure, no problem. I'll tag along with Quinn.
All right. You guys approach the
As
bar.
we're walking up before we actually get to the bar, I want to just kind of quietly, kind of like, touch her on the shoulder as we're walking. I know I was a little curt with you earlier about it, but thank you for what you did earlier.
For what?
For saving my life.
Please. Listen. Life's hard in the Isles. You make friends quick because you don't know if you're going to see them the next day. And you know what? You went and we're deck mates. You served on that ship for 4 days. That makes you a friend. I'm not going to let you die.
Well, I appreciate it nonetheless. I'm not as hardy as I used to be. I used to be able to take a few more hits than just one to knock me down, but...
To be fair, it was one hit from a very large, very undead Batagi wielding a even larger
I
hammer.
wonder if that's typical for this area. Just undead things roaming around. It seems a little,
I mean,
I don't know, unsanitary at the very least.
Oh, at the very least, I mean, we saw the blood trail. Mickey and Ryan didn't seem to be bothered that much.
That's what concerns me, is that maybe this is just a typical thing in this city.
Ooh. Yeah. If it is just, ooh.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks again. I will keep it in mind.
Anytime. Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. And I'll head up to the bar.
You guys get to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
If you like some more,
I'm going to try one of those ciders, please.
sure. And another one for you.
I will look down at my full mug, chug it. Yes, please.
And you're presented with another mug of shitty ale. At this point, collectively as a group, well, Faye, you would probably owe about 6 silver at this point.
I'll just slide him a gold for mine and the rest of Faye's.
Okay, so a gold takes care of you guys,
Mhm.
and that keeps you guys up to tab. This is Bar Simulator. So you get your ales, you return to the party.
Yeah, I'll head
Yeah,
back over.
All right, you guys return and sit down. Eventually, the two things for over the next hour or so happen as you guys are sitting here, and it's reaching near midnight. The halfling returns and puts a drink in front of you, Hush, and also leaves you a little note that says this.
Secret
There's
note.
secrets happening. I know, there's secrets going on.
I love it.
I was gonna say, do I notice that something else was left with the drink, or do I just see the drink?
Make a perception check.
It's an 11.
Can I contest that with a sleight of hand check? Sleight of hand
Yes.
check to hide it.
Yeah. And Ryan, you do notice a moment where there is, as people are starting to funnel out, it's getting less busy, and you find a moment where the bartender is alone.
I rolled a 15.
Yeah, you don't notice that there's a little
Don't notice
note.
it. That's fine. I will coincide it with my drink being near empty, and then go up to the bar.
Okay. And it's around this time as you're approaching the bar. The bard calls for her last song. She's been playing for about 2 hours straight. And she... Friends, it's been a lovely time. I've very much enjoyed my stay here at the Brass Tracks Tavern. Come and see me if you can find me. This is my last song, and just goes right into playing the harp strings.
I'll cheer and clap for her.
You hear more jeering coming from the group of hardy men and dwarf that are sitting a couple tables away. And Ryan, you approach the bar. Welcome.
I would like another ale, please.
Certainly. Same stuff, you want a better one?
Let's go for a better one. Probably the last one of the night.
Sets it down. On the house this time.
Be kind. Thank you very much.
Good to see people paying attention. So much history in this city, and people often just don't don't take the time to really look. The wonders, the amazement, the marvels that have been put in front of them. It's what we're here to celebrate.
All you have to do is look at the brass dragons that people take for granted, and the stars that people take for granted.
And one less of them there is. Folks are very worried, but we're going to be okay.
I'm sure.
Old times had a lot of dangers, and something helped us through, whether it was the old dragon itself or something else, but keep being observant.
Plan to. What's Mr. Dugan's deal?
I don't think he's noticed, but very worried when he comes in here. He makes inventions. Very, very smart man. Reaching a little bit beyond what's comfortable. Creating things that can be destructive. And I don't think he should be doing that, so I make sure to keep my eye on him. It's also a little bit condescending.
Well, I could see that from a mile away. What sort of things is he making?
He makes these devices that uses explosive powder and kind of rotates and launches little metal pellets at high speeds. It's ugly stuff. Don't want to see it be used.
Sounds very bad.
Just hope he doesn't get out of line in here, because I don't know, someone with that much knowledge and that much potential, probably hard to stop.
He's not planning to showcase this at the Inventors Fair?
I think he is. I really think he is. And I really don't want these things just being produced. So.
Wow, especially if the authorities get a hold of it, it won't be a good thing. Even if we are peaceful.
Right.
I don't know what to do, but hello.
Don't worry about Dugan. If he gets out of line and you want to help, don't get yourself killed.
I've made a habit of staying alive for the moment, so we might have a few other jobs, but if you come back here and he's a problem, you can always ask us. We're 100% success rate.
I was gonna say that the big stick you carry around, it's got some ichor on it, some kind of stain.
Oh, I just had to clean a couple of things. It's good to get to those areas in your house that's a bit harder to reach.
Roll deception.
0.
Chimneys, you know.
It's hard, isn't it? Get blocked so easily.
I'll let you know if we need help for Dugan.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey, so, like that you noticed the dragon statue, and a lot of people don't notice. Do you know what the creature is? Kind of points back at it.
Wasn't it the Isn't it Ryland or founder of the city?
It's like you've won the other game. 100% success rate. And he puts a little gold coin in front of you. You look down at the coin, and rather than being like the normal, like, Ryland currency, which is just a gold coin stamped with some of the laws, specifically the laws of the Truce of Sand and Rain, which is essentially anti-religious ramblings. There's a stamp of a brass dragon on it, and it says, do you read Draconic?
I do not.
Okay, you don't know what it says. Come back next time you can, kid.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. And you take your gold coin and head back to the party. All right.
Write this all down.
All right, and the rest of you. What are we doing with the rest of the evening? As it wraps up, the bard finishes their song and begins to pack her things and head along.
Can you remind me what our goal was next? Like, what was Risha having us do next?
She said
find
you
out in
can
the
meet.
morning.
Yeah, you can meet in the morning to talk about it. She had to deal with Christopher.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, Faye is feeling it, so she is going to find some place to get a room for the night.
They do
Does
offer
this place
rooms
have
here.
rooms?
Yep.
Perfect.
They are. Just a moment. I should have written this down, but I did not.
How dare you?
I know. So terrible.
Unprofessional.
It's five silver for the night.
Perfect. Faye'll head up to the bar and get herself a not the worst room, not like the L.
Okay. All the rooms are pretty much the same.
Figured.
But he does hand you a brass key, which looks like it matches kind of the trim around the wheels of the cabs themselves. This place is definitely thematic. Like, it's not just some inn or tavern that you stay in. It's some nerd owns this place. Some history.
Quinn's also
buff.
going to get a room as well here for the night.
Okay, cool. So you two each get a separate room, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I will as well.
Okay. Mickey and Ryan?
I'll probably walk home. So I think I live fairly near Mickey, so I'll walk with her if she's going back.
We're gonna hang out again tomorrow, right?
I mean,
Well, we all
we're
have to
going to
meet
be
to
in,
talk to Rista, so...
we're going to be in the
We
same area again.
We have a job to do.
Cool. Okay.
Yep. Alright, you two be safe. We'll see you in the morning.
See you in the
She's my
morning.
protector. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the two of you walk home. Do you show her the coin at all, or do you keep that to yourself?
I'll keep it to myself for the moment.
Okay.
Keep it secret.
All right. So you make it home with no issue, and you can find yourselves off to bed unless you'd like to do anything else before bed.
That's all for me.
Alrighty. Faye, you going right to sleep?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Quinn?
Yep, it's been a very long time since she had an actual bed, so...
Alright. Hush.
She goes to her room, but she does step out.
What would you like to step out to do?
She's going to see if that halfling left yet.
All right. You go downstairs and you see virtually no patrons left in here, and the wait staff helping to clean. There's only 2 of them, but they are a halfling and a human that are both cleaning up, and the halfling is still there.
Hey, you. Can I get some help over here?
Oh, yeah, sure. Bar's closed down. Is there something I can do for you?
Yeah, I'm having a tricky time getting into my room. Could you show me how to get in?
Make a persuasion check.
It's an 8. 8.
Those locks can be a lot of trouble. But I assure you, if you can't figure it out, maybe the guest in room 7 can help you.
Thank you
Have a
very
good
much.
night. Got to get back to it.
All right, you take care. And she heads off to room 7 very quietly.
Okay. All right, so you head off to room 7. What do? You're standing outside the door.
She's going to take a deep breath and have her hand trained on her short sword before knocking.
All right. You knock on the door.
Yep.
Who is it? I don't need any comforts. I'm quite comfortable already.
Does she recognize this voice at all?
Yes, you do. This is Enno, a furbolg that has traveled with you before.
I don't have any comforts to offer you, but I would like to keep you company, at least for now.
You see there's like a little slider that opens, and you see a big blue eye kind of look through. The slider shuts. It's too dangerous. Go away. Go.
What do you mean it's too dangerous? What are you talking about? We're in the middle of Raleigh. It's
You-
pretty quiet here.
I don't want to die. Please, whomever you are, take your leave.
We've traveled before. It's hush. We've been here. Together. I just wanted to come in and talk.
Make a persuasion check. I know this is exactly the check you wanted to continue to roll all night.
Ooh, it's a 19.
19? You hear a lock, unlock, another lock, and the door opens just barely. Throw your swords in first.
All right. And she'll do that. She'll just give them up. She won't fight.
Right. You throw the swords inside. He grabs them and runs to the back corner and shoves the door open as he's doing so. Kind of puts the swords down on the ground. You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't know where I am. You shouldn't be traveling. What are you doing? You're blowing my cover.
I didn't blow your cover, my friend. People know that you're here. So, it has nothing to do with me, it's as much as it is about you. So, that's something that you should be working on, quite frankly. I can certainly help you if you'd like, but you're not going to pin that on me like it's my fault.
I don't need help. I need to hide. I need to get as far away as possible.
From where?
From where we come from. Keep your voice down. And he shuffles over the door and shuts the door.
I'm sure you'll be fine. This city isn't that bad. I haven't seen anyone walking around here with a banner, so I think you should be okay.
You haven't? Because I have recognized people. They're looking for you. And me. And others.
Well, they know exactly where to find me if they want me that bad. And as for you, do you know why they're looking for you specifically?
Because I deserted. Because I don't want to be part of her army, whatever she's building. I would rather be part of what we once had. But that is no longer an option, isn't it?
It is. And for you to think that is foolish. We're still here. You have me still. It's you and me at least. There's plenty more. We just need to get them.
How do you suppose we do that? Many of them have already joined with her. She's not going to be stopped. You know that, right? You can't take her. You can't beat her. Neither can I. Neither can anyone else. She won't be stopped. She has something. I know. This is why I left. She has something more powerful than we do.
I don't care if she has her hands on the strongest, most ancient piece of powerful technology that's available in this entire continent. She is going down, whether she thinks so or not. And if you still have any backbone left, you'll rally behind me and ensure that she goes down.
Exactly what you said. The most powerful, most ancient. See for yourself if you'd like. She found it on the Forbidden Archipelago. If you ever find yourself back there, take a look around. As for me, and as for you, if you are ever powerful enough to make those moves, I'll have your back. For now, it's dangerous to be near you. So, hush. Opens the door. I very much don't need any comforts. I'm just fine here where I am.
She's going to extend her hand to ask for her swords back.
His big furball hands reach down and pick them both up and hand them both to you just with one hand.
She'll strap them back onto their holsters, and before she leaves, she'll turn to him and say, "You know, you say that you don't need any comforts, but I will tell you that you do need a backbone. And the zoo was not built on cowards." And she's going to close the door.
As you close the door, you just see that disappointed exhale and his head start to turn, and you close the door and leave.
She won't go right away. She realizes that there was a lot to lose, and it really is just her. So she'll speak beyond the door and say, "Give it time. I'm coming back for you." And then she'll leave.
As you expected, you get only silence in response. And you head to your room and go to sleep?
Yup. Right to bed I go. And
All
she's
right.
going to be using her banner as a blanket.
Pull the banner over you, just as the feelings of loneliness come over you. And then you start to remember that at least there are some brand spanking new friends still in this world. But as for old ones, that's going to take time. And you all can gain the benefits of a short rest. Except for you, Faye.
Short or long rest?
A long rest. Did I say
Yeah.
short? My
Yeah,
apologies.
it's fine. I get
I
it.
Okay.
just want to make sure. I'm like, wait, what were we?
Why except for me?
Oh, because as you drift off into your sleep for the evening, the familiar sound of crashing waves begins to overwhelm your eardrums with sound. You slip into your subconscious, and strangely, you open your eyes. And your feet, as you're standing upright, are not touching the surface of any floor of a Riley building or any floor of any cobblestone ground. You're not walking uh, on the terrestrial earth of Halgia. You are instead standing on a large rock. Sweeping dust and wind overwhelms you as you look off into the horizon to see the shape that feels familiar like a map. The shape of the map that Quinn carries. As you see this shape, it begins to grow larger. It begins to grow larger even still. Breath is fleeting. You see an ocean appear in your view. And this piece of rock that you're moving upon, traveling very quickly towards it. The crushing depths, the lightless deep, moving always, quiver beneath. You see it descending faster and faster and faster. It begins to rumble as it is beginning to close in on the ocean, which is rapidly pushing towards you. And you start to see the waves pouring outward from this shape, in this dome shape that's kind of pushing these huge waves off to the side and onto the shore. You see waves just crashing over the side of a continent, deep within the continent, deep within a southern city on an oasis, crashing over towers, crushing small buildings, pouring into the center of an arena. Squeeze and gasp. Your word is my sea. And as this body begins to make impact with the ocean is displaced and pushed as you see the ocean begin to swallow Riley. Evoke my endless voice.
So
The continent is swallowed. And what do you do?
Well, so Faye is going to close her eyes and feel the same peace she always does, and the sense of like belonging when she hears this voice. And she's going to smile and hold up her hands in supplication and just say, I hear you, and I will obey.
And as this rock just crashes deeper and deeper, you see these enormous tidal waves being displaced, and eventually they swallow over the top of you. Darkness. And you open your eyes to a new day. And you do gain the benefits of a short rest. Or a long rest, sorry.
Okay. Cool. Very cool.
And as you all wake up, it is now Intembur 11th. And I think, are going to take a 5-minute or less intermission. And we will return to this.
Oh boy.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Oh man, what the fuck?
Boy.
Oh boy.
let me know when we're good.
We're good.
All right. You all wake up in the morning. Faye, you really have to pee.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So, you wake up in your rooms, in your homes, for those of you from the city. What would you like to do? Are you meeting immediately at Rista's flat, or are you going to do other stuff first?
Well, Faye is going to use the bathroom and see if the barkeep has a very hearty, greasy breakfast.
Okay. And that he does. He puts an array of different skewer meats and sausages in front of you and says, "Anytime I've ever drank crappy ale, I've always woken up with a big headache."
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Here it comes.
Kind of giggles as he walks away.
Yeah.
And what about everybody else?
Mickey's gonna get there nice and early. Probably try to be the first one there.
Hush is going to get up super stupid early, and she's going to see if she can swing by Tenneman's teacup before she needs to go to Resta.
Okay. Mickey, you wake up very early, earlier than Magda, and are you just slipping out of the house, or are you gonna...
Yeah.
And you leave, and you do end up being the first one, and you're just standing outside the door. Rista hasn't even arrived here yet.
Alright, I'll just stand outside. I'll just kind of take in the fresh morning air and take out my sketchbook and start drawing what I see around me.
Okay. Make a check with your sketchbook. Is it painter supplies, or are you just doing a dexterity check?
Painter supplies.
Okay. So add dexterity and proficiency if you are proficient.
Dexterity and proficiency. 14.
14. You make a pretty strong interpretation of this this flat, and you actually get the teacup tower in the background of it, and the Brass Tracks Tavern. The dimensions are a bit exaggerated, but it's recognizable nonetheless.
I'm working on perspective.
Yeah. Hush, you come out of the Brass Tracks Tavern. Mickey, make a perception check real quick.
Perception is... Nat 1.
That one.
Yep.
You are way too involved in your sketching to notice Hush come out the door of the Brass Tracks Tavern. And you go stand, Hush, at the foot of the tower. And as you can see, it is a large... most of the structures in this place are brass and granite, and you can see that, but there are painted greens and purples that kind of create these strange designs all the way up the tower, and it looks like the paintings on the sides of a fine teacup from a nice tea set. And as they reach up toward the top, there is like a model teacup at the top. You look at the front door?
Yeah, it's very on the nose. She's going to knock.
As you approach and look to knock, there are 2x4s strapped over the front of the door. This place looks closed and abandoned. There is a sign. It looks like it hasn't been cared for in a while. It's kind of like scratched up a little bit, but it does say Tenneman's Teacup. Of Artificer Extraordinaire, 5-time Inventors Fair champion, Tenneman Fargo.
And it's just the 2x4s that kind of just keep the door closed, essentially?
Yeah, I mean there's a handle, but there's like diagonal strapped 2x4s that are like nailing this door shut.
Can she use her thieves' tools to, or actually no, she's gonna use a crowbar to get rid of the nails.
Okay. Make a dexterity check.
13.
13. Um, you pop a few of the nails loose, pull the two boars off. Why don't you also make a sleight of hand check to try to do it without any folks noticing? It is very early in the morning, and not many people are stirring.
16.
16. You slide three of the four 2x4s off and kind of gently place them on the ground. You undo the last one, and eventually you notice that nobody's really looking at you, and there's not many people out here. You may have access to the door.
All right. She's gonna go inside.
The door is locked.
Thieves' tools to unlock the door.
Okay, roll with your thieves' tools.
That's just a 20 with a dexterity check plus my proficiency bonus.
Yes.
Okay. 13.
13. You slide the lockpick in. A magical force pushes your lockpick back out. You try to shove it back in, and it's like trying to attach a magnet to another magnet with the negatives facing each other as it kind of slides around. You slide it again. There's some kind of magical lock that's preventing entry to this place.
That's admittedly really annoying. Okay. Could you actually step back to see if there's any windows?
Sure. Make a perception check.
16.
16. Looking around, you do see one large window that is about 40 feet up on the back side of the tower, and then two windows that are even higher up, about 80 feet up on the window, right near the top of the tower.
All right. We're gonna do something a little bold here. Just a little bit. Let me double check to make sure that I have this. Wow, I do have this. Okay. So, I have a climbing speed of 20 feet. Can I use my feline agility to double that to make it to the window?
Yeah.
All right.
So you scale the side of the tower and get up. You grab the ledge of the window. You peer inside, and you can see it's dark in there. You have dark vision, right?
I do. 60 feet.
There's a little bit of light pouring through the window that kind of creates just a little bit of light. It shines through and illuminates just one part of the floor. And the inside of that chamber that you see is basically bare. It is pretty much empty. There's a few like leftover pieces of furniture, but it looks abandoned.
Okay. Are there any locks in the windows that she could break loose?
Roll for investigation.
14.
14. Yeah, the window is locked, and there is a lock that can be messed with.
Thieves' tools to mess with that lock.
Okay, roll again.
24.
24. The window slides open. You have to pull it back towards you and open it like that.
she is going to slip inside.
You land inside the tower. Very dark, dusty in here.
Any books of any kind, or leftover notes, or signs of life?
Roll for investigation.
22.
22. Searching through this floor of the tower, you're finding that there's not much left behind other than old furniture, but you do slide a desk drawer open of a desk that looks like it wasn't important enough to be taken out of the tower by whoever left here. And you open it up and find a very small sketching pad.
What's in the sketching pad?
You open it up and take a look inside, and it looks to be just these fantastical drawings, like different interpretations. Like one of them looks like 3 floating teacups that are orbiting some kind of like central pillar structure. One of them is elevated higher than another one, and a third one in the middle, and it looks like they're just all floating and surrounding. There's a floor underneath that creates the vision that they are floating. You flip to another page, and there looks to be scaffolding that kind of bobs and weaves in these different directions that hold up a set of tracks with these Ryland carts like stacked on top of the tracks. You flip to even another page, and there's sketches of like someone standing, like just a basic figure, not very well drawn, like standing, and these like planks that reflect this figure's visage. Like there's like 8 or 9 different like window perspectives of this same person.
She's going to pocket the sketch pad.
Okay.
And she's going to climb back out, careful to close the window again.
All right. Roll sleight of hand.
8.
8. Trying to carefully hold onto the ledge and slide the window closed. You drop it, and it on the side of the building makes a loud sound.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna get out of here. She's gonna like kind of shimmy, because the tower's like cylindrical, I imagine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to kind of shimmy, kind of away from like the main road and start descending.
Okay. Roll for stealth.
26.
26. As you're shimmying, you look over the side, like around the building, and you see 2 Ryland guards in brass armor kind of walking down the street. You shimmy around to the other side, drop off the tower. You're used to like getting away from people that are looking, or at least unaware of your presence, and you skirt around the back of the building, come around the other side, like all the way around the other side and up behind Mickey.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Sorry, I had to unmute. Ah! Oh, hi!
Huh, you have to be on your toes a lot more than that if you're going to be sitting here in the middle of Riley, completely alone.
I mean, it's early. I wasn't expecting it. I was, Hi!
She's going to jokingly pat her on the shoulder and say, always expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected, right?
So you're the first one here, yeah?
Yeah, Ryan sometimes sleeps in a little on his days off. I
We're
can't blame
working
him.
today. This is not his day off.
True.
So much for work ethic on that workaholic, huh?
He earns it. He works really hard. It's not easy being a smith.
Oh, so that's what he does. Interesting.
Yeah, he makes all sorts of cool stuff.
Huh, I wonder if I could get him to make him something for me one of these days. Or I could learn from him. One of the two. But I think he'd be much better at it than me, if he's been doing it for so long, you know?
Actually,
Faye,
it's...
at this point, you finish your breakfast and slip out the door to find them in conversation. And Ryan and Quinn, what are you guys doing?
Well, today, is today a day off for me? Is it a weekend
no.
or is it a?
No.
Oh boy. Well, I'd better get ready to go into work. We didn't know when. Maybe I need to try and get the morning off. So. Yeah, I guess I better get ready to go into the Smiths.
Boring!
Alright. You go visit Grunda, she's like, you're late. What you doing?
Sorry, I had some pressing plans last night, and actually this morning I was wondering if I could come by this afternoon instead. Some real important stuff going on at the moment, sorry.
Alright, that's what they all say. Roll a persuasion check.
Smiths don't have a union?
We're gonna have an adventure while Ryan just goes to work.
Let's do that.
Please don't. That's a 9.
A 9.
Oh, no.
You know what I think, Ryan? I think you don't like this, and you're probably not going to come back. So, if you don't, let me do something and give you some homework to work on. Expect this to be complete. If you do decide to return, when you do, take the whole day off. I got some stuff to work on anyway.
Okay, what do you want me to do in the meantime?
She hands you a breastplate, the one that you were working on the day prior, and it's kind of fucked up. Hopefully you can fix it. Get her some tools, and hands you some smith's tools.
I'll pop them in my inventory. Okay, I'll do my best.
And just to let you know, the breastplate is not currently usable.
Oh, I don't expect it to be.
Maybe I'll see you again. You're always welcome to come screw up my really good work.
You know, that's only the second worst thing you've said to me the last few weeks, so I didn't
What are
think
you
I was
doing
doing
if you don't mind me asking?
Have a meeting. Afraid.
Secret meeting? How interesting. Alright, go off then.
Okay,
Come back
I'll
if ever you should want to.
bring the breastplate back for you, don't worry.
She turns around without saying goodbye or anything and just starts hammering out a sword.
I guess I better go put the breastplate back in my house, because I'm not going to transport this across the city.
Alright, you return it to your home.
And after that I'll go to the flat.
Alright, you show up. You find 3 of your companions there.
Where's Quinn?
Hey, Sleepy Bones. About time you got here.
You're late.
I had to get myself out of work today.
Oh, it wasn't your day off.
Nope.
Oops.
It is now, though.
In the event that Risa sends us off somewhere pretty far, what are you going to do at your job?
I've got something to work on that my employer has kindly given me.
Ooh,
So-
you have homework?
I guess you could call it homework, yes. it's work I have to do at home, or indeed elsewhere. Yeah. Elsewhere work doesn't really work too well, does it?
When's it due?
She didn't give a time frame.
Lucky.
Surprisingly, I'm good at weaseling out of things like this.
Hey, Faye,
And
you
Quinn.
alright?
I'm sorry.
Shh.
Faye!
I'll be good. Just
Faye!
little lower, please.
I'll just kneel down.
Was it
Faye!
yesterday?
How many did I end up having last night?
Like 7.
Oh,
More than enough, it seems.
yeah,
Did
still three under my record. So we're
Are
good on
you-
that.
Regretting choosing the worst ale there?
I don't think it's the quality so much as the quantity.
No, I think it's both.
Mm. You might be right. Oh.
Was it worth it, though?
And Faye will kind of think back as to the dream she had last night. Yeah, it was worth it.
Okay,
Well.
there's no beating that, really.
And Quinn, what are you doing?
She would have just been waiting to hear like people rustling around, like the day starting before heading out. But apparently, she's the last one there. So
You just
I
wait
guess she-
patiently in a corner. You actually see Faye like finish her breakfast and then walk outside. You hear 4 people having a conversation, and you're like, "All right, it's time."
it's like, oh, the rest of them came. She didn't want to stand outside waiting around for everyone. She'd rather sit in the nice, cool, quiet corner of the bar and wait. So once she hears them all outside, she'll go join them.
All right. You finally casually come walking out the door.
Was it 15 minutes late with ale?
Who's the sleepy one now?
I just yell, "Hi, Quinn!"
Good morning.
Good morning!
You have a lot of energy for being this early.
Yeah, well, I didn't get
Energy
drunk.
all the time.
Infectious, isn't it?
After a few minutes of you guys sitting outside or standing outside here, you finally see Rista come just walking up the street. Look at all of you, kind of like glance around, open the door. You are all very early. Jeez, eager are we? And she walks inside and sits down at her desk.
Before Hush walks in, she's going to tug at Miki's at the sleeve of her shoulder, and she'll say, "Remember, discretion." And she's gonna walk inside.
Okay, expect the unexpected. Discretion. Hush! Got it.
You're learning.
Right?
I'll tiptoe inside.
You all sit down, and she sits across the table with her hands kind of folded. You don't see the flower anywhere. She doesn't keep it out. She does have a couple of tomes out in front of her.
Any new bloodstains on the floor?
Oh, make an investigation check.
I was literally about to ask that.
Oh, that's not good. Oh, what's my investigation? Not good enough. That's an 11.
11. You don't see any bloodstains, but you do see the chair itself that Dr. Scotland was sitting in is pushed all the way back to the wall, and there are scuff marks on the floor from a chair being slid, and there are scuff marks on the wall.
Ooh. Okay, so there's tomes on the desk, right?
Mhm.
Hush is going to be fidgeting with her paws, kind of bobbing in place, kind of really excited, but won't speak up about it.
Quinn's
Okay.
gonna very pointedly look over at the chair and then look back at Rista and just raise an eyebrow.
She actually kind of does the same, like she follows your gaze, looks over,
Mhm.
and then side-eyes you and looks back. So we have business to discuss, yes?
Do you take care of yours last night, I'm guessing?
Yes, there will be no more flower theft from Dr. Scotland. We have come to an understanding.
I won't
Now,
ask
shall we
any
begin?
more.
Yes. What's that? She's pointing to the books.
Oh, these are, magical academia, helping me to further understand how to transmute these flowers into use for my spell in speaking with the long at rest.
Stifling some of her excitement, she's going to clear her throat. May I see the tome?
Which one? This is a
Yes.
botany. This one is magical botany, and this one is it's about necromancy, and that is my specialty.
Magical botany, please. I'll look at the necromancy one next.
Sure, but do you want to listen to my deal as well? Can you read and listen at the same time?
Oh, absolutely.
She pushes the book your way. Remember, don't take my book.
Paws are off. Only you looking at my eyes. That's it.
And she kind of glances over at the scuff marks on the wall. Just don't take it. So, where were we? You have done me a huge favor. I cannot thank you enough. Dr. Scotland is currently in prison awaiting trial for his crimes. I brought him there last night. And I do need one more
Oh,
flower.
he's still alive.
Oh yes, he's alive. He has not been murdered. I am no murderer.
Given
I
the
want to
amount of work
insight
we
check that so bad, but I know Mickey wouldn't.
I'll actually try an insight check.
Sure.
19.
19?
About if she is no murderer. I was specifically like, I'm no murderer. So, let's see here.
Looking at her slight smirk while she's delivering that phrase, you get the sense that she's telling the truth. She's not a murderer, but she may have bent the laws of justice a little bit in her dealings with Dr. Scotland.
Okay.
So, I regret to tell you that I do need you to find another flower. I will pay you so well for this. It is a bit of a long travel, and if you need, I will award you the grace to stay through the Celestium Fair and still honor my price, but to make haste soon thereafter. Unless you wish to go now or tomorrow or whenever you like, but the sooner the better, starting the day after Celestium. There is an underground system of tunnels, strange tunnels, and chambers and rooms. They are about 100 miles northwest of here, west-northwest of here. Oh no, what happened to Micah? This is in the area where I found this first chrysanthemum. And I believe, since there is signs of ancient life in that area having an influence on a nearby mesa, that there is probably more where that came from. What I would ask of you is simple. Travel to this mesa, collect a flower if you can, and bring it back to me.
And what's the payment this time?
So crafting components. I will give you 2 pouches of crafting components, as well as one much stronger crafting component each. Those are much more serviceable when you are trying to enchant things. I will also offer each of you a price of 100 gold pieces, as this is going to be a journey of several days. It will take you nearly... if you travel at a fast pace, it will take you 6 days. If you are slowed, it may take you up to 10. You may be gone for 2 weeks or more.
That's pretty good payment.
Could we take 2 of the stronger components? Could there be a conversation about the breakdown of, be a little less gold for one another stronger crafting component, or?
You would like your personal price to be a bit different?
Plausibly. Would there be able to be a conversation about this when we get back?
Make a persuasion check.
11.
11? Not super high DC. It's just a conversation that you asked for. Sure, if you would like to discuss a different price upon return, I would be happy to. My offer stands as it is, but it can be adjusted if it suits you.
I need more crafting material. I might prefer the gold. I'm not sure where it'll be in 2 weeks.
Certainly.
And I assume you want us to leave as soon as possible.
Yes, but Celestium is a big deal, and if you wish to stay and see the moon rise, then I will, of course, afford you that grace.
Makes no difference to me, but I imagine you two probably want to stay for that. She'll nod towards Ryan and Nikki.
Would be nice.
Yeah, it is nice to see.
Never seen the moon before, so why not?
It's a big deal. You might like it, Quinn.
Yes, you might like it, Quinn.
Then I guess we shall hang around and find out.
Okay. In the meantime, if you wish to have some busy work in your time off, in your time before your travel, I should say, you discover something that I don't think that the Riley Insight would like very much in your travel through the asylum. If you wish to take it up with them and maybe get an audience for further investigation, I can help you with this.
Busy work would be good for the next few days. I think we'll rapidly run out of things to do.
Yes, they may hire you. Alright, so Ryan and Mickey, you would know who the Riley Insight are. They are a group of 5 people who are essentially the leading government of Riley. One of them is a human artificer named Marvin Strickland. One of them is a... Sorry, let me pull up my resource. This is something I should have had ready. I do apologize. One of them is... Oh, hold on. Scroll faster. This document is so freaking long.
I mean, that's good.
Here we go. One of them is an Orinwenja wizard, Yumel Canary Feather. One of them is a tiefling bard named Lydia Namode. One of them is a halfling artificer, Orenstein Pennybrook. And the last is a gnome sorcerer named Dahlia Worth. And you would know that they all kind of take on the role of leading a certain department of the city.
You say you can get us a meeting with.
Perhaps one of them, yes. Probably not all of them at the same time, but...
I wouldn't imagine they could all be in the same room at the same time.
not
Be
unless
not
it's
for a
very,
meeting.
very important.
You say they might hire us too?
Perhaps to further investigate what was going on in the asylum and the questionable work that was being done there.
And if
Sure.
this seems reasonable, but what if it starts? Might need to talk about if it takes longer. Don't worry.
We can probably ask
Thinking
them
aloud.
when we're talking about it. We can ask them, hey, do you think this job will take within 2 days? I'm sure they'll be just as busy as we are on Celestium anyway.
Exactly.
That's probably true. Now, as for the trial for Dr. Scotland, if you wish to be a part of this and testify as to what he was doing, I would say you can also participate as witnesses, though you don't have to. I'm sure he's going to stay in jail.
Oh, we only saw the end. We saw what he did with Thad, but
I mean, the
might,
end-
need to stay out of the public eye if possible. So,
I'm
best
not
for
sure
me.
what value we could add to that.
As I said, it is up to you.
Now, when we went after your first flower, we ran into a little bit of a hiccup at the end there. Are you expecting any other hiccups, shall we say, on the other journey?
Oh yes, of course. The desert is full of very many dangers, creatures of the desert that wander about. If the sun decides to gaze too strongly upon you, it is definitely not a safe journey. I'm offering you a great price, but of course I cannot guarantee your safety.
You made this journey yourself before.
I did.
What was in the underground section?
I made it merely beyond the door. And after I left, the door shut behind me and almost on me. There is a mesa that looks like it's partially leaning, being uprooted slowly from the earth. If you go around the western side of the mesa, there is what looks to be a sculpture in the side, concave and dug in. It is the face of a humanoid creature, gripping at exposed skeletal ribs, pulling open, and an orb of obsidian in the center. When the door shut behind me, after my short journey just beyond it, the obsidian sphere began to give off a bit of an aura, a glow of some kind.
And if we arrive and the door is still sealed shut?
You may have to figure out how to get through.
Do you have advice? To do with the orb, you think?
Use that big, strong brain of yours.
Sure,
This
how
is why
much
you
it'll
are the
help.
This is why you are the investigator. These are answers that I don't have for you.
I just wanted to check just in case.
That was very smart of you. I have nothing to tell you.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
12.
12?
Yeah.
She is being forthright about wandering to this place and going inside, collecting a flower, getting outside. When she said my short journey inside, she kind of glanced off to the side a little bit, indicating that the journey may not have been as short as she said it was.
The flower was just inside?
Just a short way inside the underground.
Well,
And were you able to just grab it, or did you have to do anything special first?
This is a good question and probably information that I should share. But when I did grab it, something, as I uprooted its stem, something caused a magical burst. As it did, I noticed from the ether gathered an energy. It began to surround me, and for a time, an orb of dull green was orbiting my body as I traveled.
And did you feel that it harmed you in some way? Or
No.
it just followed?
No, it orbited me, and in fact, it was helpful in a personal moment.
Helpful how?
Is it very important to you that I talk about it?
I mean, given that you're going to be sending us off to investigate these things in a couple of days, it would be very advantageous for you to let us know what to expect.
I think any information would be useful for us if you want us to be successful here.
Go ahead and roll a persuasion check, each of you. The two rogues.
Oh boy, I don't think I'm very persuasive. 12.
5.
We all have our secrets. The orb is not something I wish to discuss at this time.
maybe it'll tell its secrets to us if we go. If we see it.
So you said there's multiple flowers there, right? I would assume.
I would hope that there's more, yes.
And you need us to
Is there a
grab,
certain kind you need?
and you need the one.
The same one that I have here.
Yep, the deep chrysanthemum.
So if we were to take others and sell them, that's possible.
Yes. Watch out for the magic that it has, though. As I uprooted the flower, it seemed like the magic stirred for a moment before unleashing this orb. I'm not quite sure if that is the most common thing that could happen.
Well, I mean, like you said, it was helpful and it was fine. And so that's the information we're going to run on. Correct? Unless there's anything else.
Ooh, roll a persuasion check for that.
21.
21.
Yes.
Okay, alright. I don't want to scare away my the people who will be doing work for me, so I'm going to tell you this. There are some places in this world where magic is dormant until it is surfaced. I believe that I surfaced some magic by uprooting this flower. I think that what happened is, and this is only stuff that I've read about, but I think that what has happened was a surge of unpredictable magic. And not all of that magic is helpful usually. You should be very careful when uprooting those flowers. Make sure you are safe.
We'll
And
do
if
our
you
best.
search this entire area, as small or larger as it may be, from what else I've read, if there is only one flower left, do not take it. Leave it be.
But don't you need the flower?
Yes. However, if it is the only one, do not take it. We'll find another way.
How long
I've
ago
read-
did you journey there?
I was already on a journey and saw the star disappear. And so I grabbed it.
So this is
As I
fairly
tr-
recently then.
Yes.
And you believe in that amount of time the other flowers may be gone?
In a place so remote as that, I would hope not.
Well, thank
It's
you.
a shot to nothing. So let's hope there's more than one.
I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm not too worried. Although, I'm gonna say that the morning is still really young, and I'd like to get something done today. So can I actually ask you guys for a quick favor?
Us? Yeah, sure, Hush. What do you need?
So, I am going to prepare us.
Just a moment. My book, please.
Please let me finish. I wasn't going to leave. I was going to ask you guys to see if you can go ahead and speak with the Riley Insight while I take some separate notes based on what's in these tomes. Would that be okay with you, Rista?
You cannot leave this flat while you are doing so.
I'm staying right here.
I will be
I will
too.
leave with only my notes.
Sure.
Ooh, intrigue. Yeah, I don't mind meeting with the Riley Insight. I'm assuming the two of you know the way, and I'll look over at the two natives. Ish.
I don't think I've ever seen them out in person.
I've never really been that important enough, to be perfectly
Neither.
honest.
So, Rista says you say you can organize a meeting. We may as well get that sorted.
Oh, sure, of course. She pulls out a little sketching pad and writes a note. rips it off. Somebody roll. Who wants to roll a die for me?
I think I rolled
I'll
the
do
last
it.
one.
I'll do it.
Okay, roll a d10, please.
Roll a d10.
10.
Oh boy.
Don't screw us over.
Ancient white dragon.
An ancient white dragon spawns.
Hey, I got a 9.
Oh, don't worry. I have tables for travel when you guys decide to go out into the
Of
desert.
course you
Yeah.
do.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I cannot tell you how much I'm looking forward to that. No, I can't because I'm not.
Well, if you're not, I'll have to change the plan. So, it's about your enjoyment. Um, so, what was your roll?
Roll of a 9.
Of a 9. All right. She rips you off and hands you a page. Take this to the halfling artificer. His name is Orenstein. He owes me a favor.
Okay.
This is the favor that you should meet with him.
Where do we find him?
You will find him in the Insight Ward, probably at his mansion.
Very well.
You can locate that easily on the map. Kira? There is the Insight Ward, and the mansions of the Riley Insight are labeled. And it shows their titles, too.
Ooh.
She's not going with us, though, right?
Yeah, but we could. If she points it out, we know where the Insight Ward is, so we can go there.
Yep.
Won't be an issue. Just figure
Yep,
out remember which
she'll
one it
have
is.
to. Actually, since you guys are going, why don't you guys go ahead and take it? I'll stay here, and you guys can be back up here with me once you're done.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Just a moment. Let's go. Here we go. All right. So you are going to the House of Orenstein Pennybrook, advisor of the populace. And Hush, you're staying here to take notes on botany.
Botany, magic, necromancy, everything.
Okay. All right. Great. So you're handed the map, you're handed the note, and who would like to take the note?
I'll take the note. Unless anybody else wants to.
Faye,
grab it.
as you read it, it says, Advisor to the populace, Orenstein Pennybrook. Rista Fargo, you owe me a favor on behalf of my father. A pleasure doing business with you.
And I'll look up and be short and to the point.
And of course, under it says, please meet with these folks about an important matter.
Okay.
I guess we get going then.
I guess we get going.
We know where we're going. Shouldn't take too long.
Okay. So she bids you farewell and sits there, just basically stares at you the whole time, Hush, that you are trying to take notes on this stuff. The rest of you travel by what means to the Insight Ward? You're not far away, logistically, but there are enormous walls around the Insight Ward, and you have to travel around either by foot or cab.
We could take a cab. Pretty fun.
Never been on one, so why not?
If it'll save us some time, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I got this.
You two are tourists. It's more fun this way.
I'll try and hail a cab.
All right. Show me how Mickey hails a cab.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Jumps up and down a little bit.
Comes to a stop. There's a half-orc gentleman that kind of looks over. Where do you need to go?
Insight ward, please.
A lot of fares going up there to the arena today. Gonna take a little bit longer than normal. Still faster than walking.
Sounds great.
2 silver a person.
2 silver, guys.
I'll
Toss
cough
the
up
coins
2
over.
silver. Yeah.
And you all get inside this retrofitted carriage that has been formed into a cab that kind of is magically moved along these rails, these different systems of rails that travel around the city. He looks back, he goes, "Y'all locals, you come here for the Celestial event."
We're just showing some friends around. Get down to the arena later.
It's mighty nice. My pa, who works at the arena, just basically makes weird
Awkward
small
small
talk
talk.
with you and just like start telling you stories about Riley as you're going on your journey here.
Now tell us your whole backstory and your name and your family's name and
Oh no, he's gonna actually do it. Do not.
And my
Yeah.
great.
No.
You guys know not
Oh,
to do
dude.
this with me.
oh, I love doing this.
Cabby
So-
small.
And
Cabby
your
small
favorite
talk,
NPC
don't
that
you
we're
love
gonna
it?
take with us
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
You're getting in an Uber, and this guy wants to tell you all his dreams. You take a nice little cab ride. It is kind of fun, Quinn, and well, maybe you don't care quite as much, Quinn, but Faye, it's a lot of fun to ride in a cab. It's like really weird. It's like the ground is passing by. All the buildings are passing you by even quicker than they normally do while you're walking. It's smooth.
I was about to say, is it smooth or is there a little rock to it?
No, it's very, very smooth. Which might make you a little uncomfortable, actually. But
Little bit, yeah.
nevertheless, you're brought up the main road of the Insight Ward, and as you go, you can see the mansions on the left and right, and he pops you off at one of the mansions and says, "Could take a little look around at the important people's houses. I bid you all a very fond farewell. Enjoy your stay here in Raleigh."
I will, and good luck with your baking. Don't give up on that.
It's getting better. And he waves the sigil and starts to go. The
That
cab
was-
pulls away.
A very strange feeling, I have to say.
Did you like
You
it?
take these all the time.
Sometimes.
I mean, it was certainly efficient.
Faster than walking.
Faster than walking. All right, so which one?
Hmm.
I'll look at them.
All right, so as you've, I'd like to get the exact answer. Do you guys have the map of Raleigh in front of you?
Nope, we have
I
a.
do.
Oh, sorry. I can get
Oh,
it very easily.
I have one pulled up. They're numbered like Z whatever, but I don't know what those mean.
It would be
have the- Key.
Z5.
Okay, I don't know where we got dropped off. So,
Like right in the middle of all of them.
oh, okay.
Which one is Z5?
It's like the top right one if you're looking down at the map.
Okay.
So like north, east.
Okay. All right. So you travel to that mansion, and as you look upon it, it's small in height but sprawling. Like it kind of starts as this large building, and you see two wings that come off the sides and lead back into a You can see a tree like that comes over the top of one of the homes. It looks to be like some sort of like desert palm or strange tree like that. Something you two are not used to. There's like a row of cacti that lead up to the entrance, and there is a front gate with 2 people standing guard. What would you like to do? Of course, it's made of granite and very well-fashioned brass.
Well, do you have any advice for how to proceed on this? I'll look at Mickey and Ryan.
Just be polite, I guess.
Yeah.
Show him the note that you got.
Show him the note. Say we want to have a chat with the patron.
This is going to be really exciting.
I just didn't know if there were any strange customs I should be aware of.
Not that I know of. I've not been to this area often, so
No?
it's all a bit new to me as well.
Just don't insult them, really.
Pretty much.
Well, okay, so we'll go with plan C then. It's a joke. She made a joke.
Just don't whip your tentacle out. No one needs to see it at this point in time.
She's a little she's a little upset that was funnier.
So you approach the gate. The guards stop you. What's your business? 2 half, but look real tough.
Hello. My name is Faye Dalton. I come here at the behest of Miss Rista. She gave us this, and I'll present the note. We seek to have a chat with Mr. Ornstein.
Hold on, just a minute. Pulls a stone out of his pocket, whispers something into it. Make a perception check.
Make a perception check. Oh, that's...
Can I make one as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to make one. Just for
Mine's
ha-has.
trash.
You can all go ahead and party check it.
Sure, mine is
Party check.
as a 2, so
23, baby. 23.
23.
14
I
for
see
me.
forever.
You hear him whispering, "Yes, Advisor Pennybrook. It's the front gate. It appears the Fargo family is calling in their favor on you. Or at least one of them. Right then, come on in." And unlatches a huge latch on the gate. You see this arcane word, like almost as you open a fridge and you feel that seal. It's like this magical pop, and the gate kind of slides backwards, and you're allowed entry. Wait. Weapons.
You wouldn't part
Leave
an
them,
old man
please.
with his. You wouldn't part an old man with his walking stick, would you?
Okay, roll a persuasion check for your Gandalf line.
It's a 4. God damn. All the times to a nat 20.
Can I assist?
That's not.
Can I give him like a... He's really, really old. Come on.
Go ahead and try. I say try very deliberately.
You are going to regret this.
Oh boy. What is that, persuasion? 17.
Looks over at you. You've got a nice smile.
Thank you.
And that is not a walking stick, it's a pike. Please hand it over.
Aw.
It's family heirloom.
I will cooperate and hand over my 2 hunting knives and my fishing spear.
Fine, here you go.
Grin will hand
He
over
hands-
the rapier.
Okay. Takes all your weapons and kind of like stows them in this container, and you see the same like magical as it shuts. He does keep the spear out and hands it to you, Ryan. Walking stick? You said you needed one. You're not
Thank
going in
you.
there with the pike, though.
It's a family heirloom, but I'll walk, pretending to walk with the walking stick.
Okay,
Just
make a
exchange
performance
one
check.
pointy weapon
Oh
for a
my
different
God.
pointy weapon. What's the
Why?
difference?
Why is everything charisma based? 6.
Because it's funny that way.
Everything is
6.
Every skill is charisma based or dex
You
based.
just like haphazardly use the spear as a walking stick, but you don't walk with a limp at all or look uncomfortable. You walk like a generally upright,
You just
healthy
like
person.
tap it awkwardly on the ground as you walk.
The door opens as you guys approach, and you see a halfling smaller than usual with these huge glasses, and the glasses are so thick that they make his eyes look bigger. They kind of like magnify his actual eyeballs. Wearing all sorts of strange like contraptions and coils and stuff like all around his body, and these like big like menacing uh, gauntlets and like pauldrons and arm covers that look to be some sort of steel or metal, uh, and kind of like gestures. Welcome, friends, I suppose. Come on, let's have a talk. And invites you inside. And in the meantime, as you sit across from Rista, who is just staring deadpan at you the whole time, what would you like to do, Hush?
As she's writing things down on paper, she's just going to look at her and say, for someone who is so intent on hiring other people to do her dirty work, you sure have a lot of time on your hands.
See, I don't like the way you use the word dirty work. It's not dirty work. It's very helpful.
We're going underground. There's plenty of dirt.
Oh, you mean it in a literal sense, because I thought that you were saying it in more of a figurative sense, as if I was a person who is doing dastardly and dirty things, which I'm not.
No, I don't disagree with the things that you're doing. I just think that while I'm trying to equip my team with as much information as I can before we set off to do something extremely dangerous, I can't help but feel very distracted by you, who's doing absolutely nothing right now, presently.
In this moment, I am making sure that you don't steal the things that I do use to make myself useful, which are books and knowledge. Things that I can use to actually perform and deliver on what I say.
I'm doing just the same, ensuring that I can make sure that our team yields successful and fruitful results before we set off to do something extremely dangerous. I'm doing my part, you're doing yours. I have no need to steal from you, given that you're going to reward me for doing so anyway. I take great pleasure in indulging in information, especially that of which that is arcane, and stealing is not so much my thing as you might expect. I understand that you have trust issues given that your colleague had just done the same thing to you just then. But provided that you remain discreet, as I had advised last time we spoke, you should be just fine.
I will be fine. And if I am to be successful, and if you all, with my great favor, are to be successful as well, perhaps we can make sure that everybody else stays fine, too.
That is the goal. Now, my pen is running a little low on ink. Do you have enough extra one?
I absolutely do. And she reaches under her desk and draws out another quill and hands it to you.
She takes it and
And
keeps
some
penning down
ink.
notes.
And some ink and
I'm sorry?
puts it there. And she takes some ink and puts it in front of you.
She will dip her quill and continue writing. And she'll say, these tomes offer a wealth of knowledge. Do you happen to have anything else like this besides these three?
Not at my current disposal. And yes, I do. They are in my home. Not for taking. Now, this here is a book on necromancy and the arcane. This here is a book on botany. These are the two that you have asked to take notes from. What have you learned so far?
Can I roll an arcana check to figure out what I learned so far?
If you're going to roll for the necromancy book, you're going to roll for arcana. If you're going to roll for the botany, you're going to roll for nature.
Okay, so I'm going to do the nature checks first.
Okay.
She rolled a
Okay. You do find that there are specifically. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You do find that there are specific
Oh no, proceed.
flowers that contain latent magical energy, and usually it is not very potent. Usually, like the case with the chamomile, usually it needs to be unlocked and brought to life in order to be used for crafting. But there have been very few recorded instances of people finding much more powerful ones. But as far as you can read and understand, these cases are very few and far between, and quite dangerous as far as actually harvesting one.
Interesting. She's going to have her claw by that sentence that implicates that harvesting certain plants of that potency could be really dangerous. And she's going to ask, while turning the tome over to her, what do you know about this?
Through personal experience, I know that a surge of magic takes hold as soon as the flower is uprooted. I have only experienced but one side effect of that, and to share with you exactly what that did, now that it's just you and I do appreciate your interest in the academic. That orb that was orbiting me saved my life when I was just barely beyond death.
Should we ever fall upon it again, do you think, well, first of all, do you think it will ever show up again? And if so, do you think it'll have the exact same effect?
I just have no way of knowing that. That's why I read
Well,
so deeply and so often, to try to gain information like that.
that's very fascinating. And to wind back a bit about my interest in these things, since we're exchanging personal information, I will say that I did used to do a lot of digging through books and such. I used to attend school. So I'll never admit it to anyone
School?
else, but I do this for fun. I do
School
this for
not
fun.
not here in Riley. You did not attend school, did you?
No, I did not. So I have much to learn. Riley has a wealth of knowledge that is a bit beyond me, given that this magical botany book is quite perplexing.
Well, If you should ever need help with studying or anything, I'd be happy to welcome you.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. I do find myself in a lot of scuffles a lot of the time. And one thing I did learn is that secrets and knowledge like this is one of your most powerful tools. So, should you happen to have any extra tools laying around, why don't we trade?
I couldn't agree more. How about this? Are you all also going to roll Arcana for the Necromancy book?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear the roll. Did anybody hear that? 7? The best you can gather is you keep hearing repeated lines over the ability to influence the line or the bridge, as it's referenced a few times, between life and death, and kind of temporarily remove that line. And this is what necromancy is for. But the rest of it is just jargon, and it's really hard to understand.
This is a bit advanced, but I'll try and copy as much down as I can.
Take your time.
Actually, Reese, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you know someone by the name of Tavern?
Of course I do. He's my father. Oh, Kira is gone.
Not the right time, is
Oh,
it?
she's frozen.
Yeah.
Bro,
I mean,
Yeah.
she was so
The
shocked. She was
the
so
plot
shocked
drop
by
just.
the reveal.
I mean,
I actually,
on the
I
one
have
hand,
it
it's
written down in my notes in a big circle. Is Tevin is Rista's father? Question mark? Because I figured that out earlier.
It's your father, I say. My laptop died. So I'm gonna charge that very, very shortly. So okay. Wow. So that's your father.
Oh, yes. He doesn't live here anymore. Not in Raleigh.
No. Do you know where he went?
Of course. He is very thriving business, just near the mountains. It's kind of one of a kind. So if you ever should head there, just look for 4 large towers, kind of like the one that is out there, like his old teacup tower. 4 large towers with walls that bridge between them, and many, many people heading inside.
Interesting. Do you keep in touch with
Here,
him still?
I'll mark it on your map.
They took.
Okay, well,
But you can sketch it down for me, and then I can reference it, and I can cross-reference.
she does. She marks a location. When you guys were traveling here, you saw an enormous mesa that reached all the way up to the sky. I don't know if you guys remember me describing that. But she marks a location that is like adjacent to that, but very close to the mountain range itself. The mountain range on the map is called the Ube Ka Mountains, and she marks it just with an F.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I didn't realize it would be that easy to find out more about him. I did try going over to.
Trust me,
You know,
he
the
is not a secretive person. He is very conspicuous and very outspoken.
Yeah, I can tell by the decorum of his tower that it's very not subtle at all, actually.
No, this is one quality that I did not pick up from him. I very much wanted to remain out of public eye.
I see. Well, if you don't mind, I'm gonna keep working. I'm stuck on this one sentence. Could you with this one?
Sure. And she continues to kind of like help you try to figure stuff out, though it's you're having a pretty hard time getting a hang of it. Eventually, she does kind of pull an object out and kind of puts it in front of you as you're looking down at the book. She says, "These. I think you all should keep these, just in case." And she gives you back the handcuffs of wrist paralysis.
Nice! These were so handy!
I
No
have
pun
another
intended!
pair. In fact, I have 5 other pairs, just in case, my hirelings decide to abandon mission. Just kidding.
I've only known them. What, day and a half? They seem pretty straight-laced. I like this group. So far.
I do too. You're all very strange.
Take that as a compliment.
And as for you all, you continue into this home, and this guy's arms are kind of like he's raising them up, and they're like just about the size of his body. They're like gorilla arms on this person. And he's like, "All right, come inside, come inside." As you do, you walk inside, and there are like little trains being like train cabs being like moved around the ledges of his home. There's like a bunch of strange decor, like clockwork structures that are like constantly moving, and it's all just weird. You don't know what it does, and just seems to be for personal effect.
He's a train hobbyist. It's fine.
Yeah, I train hobbyist. Yeah, that explains a lot.
He turns around and he says, "Mr. Fargo wants to bring a favor to Ent.
It seems like it.
Who are you people?"
Handout, Faye Dalton, at your service. Well, not your service, but pleased to meet you.
Make a Constitution check.
Oh, sweet Jesus. That would be 17.
17?
Yep.
It starts to crush your hand, but you reciprocate and kind of hold it at bay for a moment before he pulls away. He doesn't crush your hand.
That's good. I need that.
And the rest of you?
I'm Ryan. This is my friend Mickey.
Hi! Micaiah. You can just call me Mickey, though. It's a lot easier.
Oh, sure. And you?
Quinn.
Okay, then. Welcome to my manor. We're going to adjourn to the parlor, and I hope you don't mind if I have a few people watching over this conversation. It is quite important to me that I have my safety.
Understandable.
That
to make
explains
sure
the
that-
weapons at the gate.
Indeed.
Indeed. He begins to lead you beyond the threshold and into the parlor chamber. Again, there's clockwork gadgets. Just one of them looks like a brass dragon that's kind of like its wings are just going up and down. And as you sit for a meeting with Advisor Orenstein Pennybrook, I will.
Okay.
So for anyone who was watching this, we really appreciate you, and thanks very, very much. Hope you enjoyed yourselves here on our little D&D game. Hope we're not too ridiculous. And
Yet.
have a really great night.
Bye.
Thanks for all the follows and the raid and stuff. Thank you very much.